Okay, so. Bring the hands together at the heart. We're going to take 3 ohms. Obviously, just repeating in whatever way helps you to extend your exhale and to bring about some internal relaxation and presence. And also to just set the tone for yourself for your class. So when you're ready, just exhale your breath out. Relax your shoulders, your forehead. Take an inhale and begin. Bow your head to your heart. Salute the teacher within. And then releasing your hands. Let's go ahead and spread the legs. Sit way back in your chair. Spread the legs really wide. Now we're just going to take the hands onto the right thigh, close to the knee, and just bend your elbows and start to bow forward over that right thigh. Take a few breaths and allow your spine to just respond to your breath in whatever way it does. And then press yourself back up, back to the center. And then we'll turn to the left, bringing the trunk over the left thigh. Just breathing. And then pressing yourself back up. Hands on both thighs. It's a cat-cow, so arch and round. Then on your next exhale, round your back and fold forward. Push your legs apart. Inhale, arch the back as you come back up. Exhale, round your back and start to take the head down. As you inhale, elongate your spine, lift your chin, coming up. Exhale, rounding and tucking. Inhale, lengthen the front of your spine. Keep using your arms to push your thighs away. Coming up. Exhaling one more time. Inhale, coming up. And bring legs together. Just lean into the back of your chair. Interlace your fingers and press your palms away. Take your arms over to the right. Turn your head to the left. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And then come to the center, change the interlace of your fingers and press them away. Take your arms, both elbows remain straight to the left as you turn your head to the right. Push through that left wrist. And then back to the center. And release your hands, take your arms out wide. Cross your right arm over the left and hook it. Drop your right ear to the right shoulder. Drop your left shoulder down. And then let go of that right arm. Take it behind you, behind your waist. Lean up against that arm. Lift your chest. Take your left arm up, side bend as you reach your right arm to the left. So left arm to the right arm to the left. And keep pressing that left rib cage back into your right arm. And come back up. Release the arms. Take your left arm across and hook it. And bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Relax the right shoulder down. And then open your arms out and take that left forearm behind your waist. Lean back onto it. Reach for the right side of your chair. And then let's take the right arm, bring it over to the left. Inhale, come back, release. Take the arms up overhead. Bend your right elbow. Just hold it in close to your head as you try to lengthen the front of your spine. Stretch both arms up. Other elbow. Push your head back into your left arm. And then stretching back up. Let's exhale all the way forward. Bring your hands down towards the floor or on the floor. And let your head hang. And then hands to the thighs, separate your feet about leg length apart and circle. Chair legs, not your legs. And circle around the hips. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Go the other direction. And then make your way back up. Come back to mountain pose. Just relax. Take in any good feelings, any positive, pleasant sensations that may result from what you've already done. Take a moment and focus on those. Really letting those positive, good feelings, sensations imbue your nervous system, changing it towards a more positive direction. And then we'll get our second chair. Put your second chair beside your chair that you're sitting in. Bring it back where it is almost parallel to the chair you're sitting in. Like if if you had someone you loved sitting beside you, you could just put your arm on the back of the chair comfortably. Okay, so don't distort your shoulders or anything like that. Just in a relaxed position with your arm on the back of the second chair. Then take your left arm out, turn the palm up, bring that arm over your ear. And just relax over to the right. Each exhale, release the head, let it hang. Let your hands hang. Let your right shoulder relax. And then inhale and come up. And just put that chair on the other side. And just resting that arm. Bring the other arm. Now try to keep the right arm in line with your ear. Don't bring it in front of your face. Keep it in line with the ear. And I'm trusting that you are keeping your head back. So that doesn't mean turn your head down and then bring your arm in line with your ear. It means look forward, keep the left ear over the left shoulder. And then relax into it. Each exhale, tone the navel back so that you can really be aware if you're overarching your low back. And inhale, bring yourself back up. Sit in mountain pose, feel your shoulders, your ribs. Okay, so let's now just bring the chair in front of us. And again, spread your legs really, really wide, bringing them out to the outside of the sides of your first chair. And then put your hands on the back of your second chair. Relax your shoulders. Now, on the top of your pelvis, front top of the pelvis, hold back so that you're bringing the top of your pelvis more over your sit bones. Hold it there and then bring your forearms onto the back of the chair. So in other words, you are not tipping your pelvis forward. You are more bending more at your waist, not at your hip creases. And you're holding the front of your pelvis back as you reach your trunk forward and resting it on the back of your forearms. And then come back up, push your chair further away. And put your palms of your hands on the back of your chair. And again, pull the front of your pelvis back so you're kind of stacking on top of your sit bones. Start to push the chair forward, but again, keep your pelvis upright. Don't tip your pelvis forward. Pull it back instead. And as you push that chair forward, push down into your feet. Lift your navel up. Push down into the hands. Keep the neck long, legs strong, core strong. Feel the stretch in the side waist. Just breathe, feeling how you are going in two different directions, kind of splitting yourself right at your waist, holding from the waist down, holding it back, reaching forward, waist up. And then come back and bring your legs back to mountain pose. And then let's turn to the right. Hold on to the outer right leg with your left hand. And start to elongate through your spine, holding your arm bones back, lifting the chest. Just relax your shoulders. And then release. And twist to the other side. And release. Now bring your chair closer to you again. Turn it around this time. So the seat of the chair is facing you. Slide a little closer forward on your chair seat. And we're going to take the right foot and put the foot right on the corner of the front edge of your chair. So the knee is kind of loose out to the side. And just hold that for a moment, because some of us get kind of achy in these hip creases where the psoas muscle may be tight, could be other things, but just take a moment if that's you and see how that's feeling. Now, if it's uncomfortably, I don't want to say uncomfortably painful, but really uncomfortable, try taking your foot more forward instead of having it all the way on the edge, or push your chair away. Now, pushing your chair away a little bit will make it harder to do the upper body. So you could even like I've got my foot resting up, and take my sock off, resting up onto the side of the chair so it's not so much in that hip crease. So if that's you, again, just, make it work so you're not fighting discomfort in your hip. And then take your hands into your chair seat. If this is too low and you need a block, take a block to put your hands on. So we're just holding this. This is kind of the same benefit as a lunge, hip opening lunge. Let's take it. You can take your arms forward, you can take them up. It all depends on your hip and, how good it feels to you, if it's doable or not. And besides the hip getting an opening, hopefully you are experiencing some level of stretch in your back. But sometimes if the hip sensation is really strong, you won't feel it in other places that you may be stretching, you just don't feel it because there's another sensation overriding your ability to perceive the lesser one. So just hold that there. And then go ahead and come back, release that foot. Do the other side. So the two hips tend to be very different. So you might start with the foot right up on the front corner of your chair seat and see how that feels, or move it away a little bit if need be. And then when you find a place, you want your arms to the inside of your left leg. And just putting your hands on your chair seat. Relaxing your shoulders. You can just, walk forward if you like, or take your hands up. Again, just experiment with different things and find a stretch that feels good to you. And then come back up. Just release that foot to the ground, lean back. And then we're going to do the thigh stretch. So get your bolster possibly a block. So put your bolster. It's movable, so you can figure out what the best place for you is, but I'm just going to put mine back there by the back leg of my chair. I'm going to sit way over to the side of my chair, and then I'm just taking my ankle up onto the back of the chair. Okay. And then I'm sliding my hips forward, trying to bring my hip over my knee. And I'm hanging on to the other side of my chair to keep me from tipping too far, in my case, off to the right. Really relaxing from the front of your hip down through your knee. Leaning back a little bit, not too far, not so far that you pinch your low back. And then try to tuck that tailbone in and towards your pubic bones. Lift your pubic bones up. And come forward and out. Sit in the middle of your chair. And then you can just move your bolster to the other side. And do the same thing. Slide over to the other side. And prop your foot and your ankle. And then hang on with the opposite arm. And then come back. Sit back in mountain pose. Relax. And then let's go ahead, stand up. And take your bolster into your chair seat. Let's just stretch the legs. So walk back a ways, feet are hip width apart. Come down onto your forearms or stay up on your hands. Find a position in which you are bending at your hip creases, not at your waist, because now you are load bearing your back. So you do not want to be bending at your waist. Bend at your hip creases and just make sure that this part where your back connects to your pelvis is flat. And then lifting up on your inner legs from the inner arches all the way up into the inner groins. Press your thigh muscles back into the bone and push your thigh bones back into your hamstrings. Lift your navel slightly to support your low back. Then if you're able to rest your head on your bolster, grab hold of the front chair legs. Just reach forward, wrap your hands around the front chair legs, and gently pull down on them as you keep your navel lifted. Push the thighs back again. Your shoulder blades down your back. And then take your hands back up to your bolster, straighten your elbows, straighten all the way up. Okay, so move your bolster where it's right up to the very front edge of your chair seat, and then put your hands underneath your bolster, wrapping them around the seat of the chair. Step back further into down dog. Feet are still hip width apart. Now start to pull your arm bones apart. At the same time, you're wrapping the outer arms down, out and down. Push back with your thighs. Keep your neck long. Don't overextend your neck. Now come up onto your toes. Start to come forward like you're doing a, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Like you're gonna do a plank, but come all the way and rest your belly on your bolster. Come all the way forward, walk your feet forward if you need to. Now, push down into the chair seat, push your heels back behind you, lift your chest up, push on that bolster with your belly, and lean into it. And then push back into down dog. Big stretch on the front anterior portion of the body. Push the thighs back. And then come forward again. And again, put your belly on the bolster. Push with your feet. Roll your arm bones out. Spread your collarbones. Make a nice big arc. So nobody's doing this except me. I don't know why. And then push back. And step in. And stand up. Okay, so as you can see, I am wearing a heavy sweater and I've had about enough of it. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna disrobe here into something that's more tolerable. Jeez. Okay. So standing in mountain pose. If anybody would like to tell me what happened with that last pose, that you weren't doing it, I'm all ears. Because I don't want to keep doing something that you feel is wrong for you or you don't understand how to do or so anybody, you can unmute yourself if you want to tell me.
I feel like I can do a plank or close to doing the plank and the arch and arching up. But when I try to put my stomach on something like the chair or the bolster and put the weight on it, that doesn't feel secure to me. That feels,
Are you still using your legs?
I don't know.
Okay, so that's the key, is you have to use your legs almost more than.
You're not resting your weight on your belly on the.
No, not 100%. You're resting it on it more than you would be if you didn't have the bolster.
Yeah, I can feel like I can do I'm starting to be able to do the plank without the bolster. And then putting the bolster in there kind of confused me, I guess.
Okay, so just watch for a moment because I don't want this to be confusing. So first of all, we're not doing plank. We're bypassing plank all the way into up dog. Okay, so so the big key here are the legs and the shoulders. So when I come forward, let's say here I am in, close to plank. Well, I can see if I drop here, I'm too far away. So I've got to walk closer so that I can feel that bolster. Now, once I feel the bolster, that's when the leg action has to happen. So I'm pushing strongly. I'm even walking my feet even closer and I'm pushing. So I'm pushing myself into the bolster. So the bolster is now supporting more of my weight. Notice where my shoulders are in relationship to my wrists. They're way forward, right? So that's the next piece. So I have to keep my legs super strong, super straight, and then start to roll my arm bones out and bring my chest up. Okay? I'm now more on my bolster than I was before. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to share what or have a question? If you do, unmute yourself and go for it. No? Okay, well, we'll do it again. So go ahead, come into downward facing dog on your chair. Start to move towards plank, which is going to be what's going to give you an idea if your feet need to walk forward more. So come forward towards plank. Keep your legs strong. Don't give up your legs. Come towards plank. Now walk your feet in a couple of steps. Now go ahead and bring your whole trunk and hips towards that bolster. So you don't come down, don't change your arm position, keep your arms like they were. Because you really will feel like you're falling if you move your arms. You got to let go of your hips. Come forward, way forward, keep coming. Walk your feet forward if you can't get your stomach there. Okay, so go ahead and come out. So what I am perceiving, from what it appears from my vantage point anyway, is that there's some fear about releasing yourself forward from this part of your body. It's almost like it looks like, it's kind of like the problem people have when they start to practice handstand, and the idea of their hips coming over their head is really scary. I mean, it's kind of a built-in reaction to, it kind of triggers that fear of falling mechanism, you know? So I don't know if I'm right on that, but that's what it appears, because when I see you kind of getting here, you get here, and everybody can do this without any problem because we've done it a jillion and one times. But there's something about getting here and thinking about pushing your hips forward that seems to bring up fear. That's what I'm perceiving. Okay, so I'm getting a thumbs up from one of you. Okay, there's two. Harita, if you got your arm up, I can't see there you go. Okay, so three. So okay, well, then that's a whole different issue. So let's do this then. So go ahead and come up, turn your chair around. And we're gonna just take our hands on the back of our chair, step back just a little bit, come up onto your toes, push your thighs, the top of your thighs, right onto the top of your chair, and then lift your chest up and look towards the ceiling. See if you can do that. Okay, so this is a baby upward facing dog, okay? It's the same action, same shape, you're just not as low, okay? So let me ask you to, let me ask you this. Well, when you did that in the standing position, did anybody feel it in your low back in a painful way? Nobody. Okay, good. Because sometimes the fear when you're lower and going up, it's going into the low back. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. Okay, so next step then. So go ahead and come back. This time step back further. Do you see? Let's see, if I put my toes right on that back chair leg, put my other foot back behind it, that's where I want my 2 feet to be. So I'm like 2 feet back from the back legs of my chair. Okay. So now whenever I reach my hands onto the back of the chair, I'm not just straight down, I'm forward. So now come up onto the toes. Now start to put, now it's going to be scarier, okay? Because you don't have as good of a grip. So put the front of your thighs now on the front of that chair. Now turn your hands where the palm of the hands are facing one another. Okay? Walk them up as close to the top of that chair as you can. Start to lean forward. So you feel how you're using your legs? Everybody feel your legs? Now, keep from the hips down as is. Pull your shoulders back over your hips. Pull back. Look up. Legs really have to work. And then release. Okay, so can you kind of feel what you're doing there with creating that big arch in your back? Everybody feel that? So you're looking a little hesitant. So was that doable for everybody? I mean, did anybody feel like they couldn't do that? It looked like everybody was doing it. Was it scary? Little bit? Okay, well, that's really good to know. You know, I mean, it's good for you to know. So that's what we're dealing with. So dealing with fear versus, you know, what your body can and can't do are two different things, you know. So your body can do a whole lot and it can be scary. So you repeat it over time, it gets less and less scary because you see that there's nothing dangerous and that you're in charge. You know, you gotta have confidence that you're in charge. Okay, so go ahead and turn your chair back around. Now, I know some of you have trouble putting, so stand perpendicular to your chair. If you have trouble balancing with one foot up in the chair, use your block if that's what you usually do. And then take your arm to the inside. Now, again, watch for just a minute, because I'm still trying to communicate the importance of going straight over versus this, okay? And I know whenever you're doing something, no matter, even though I'm telling you to do it otherwise, that it's a lack of your being able to perceive what you're actually doing to what it feels like you're doing. Okay, you may feel like you're doing one thing, but if somebody that's outside of you watching can see you're not doing what you think you're doing. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get across to you. So with your arm inside your thigh, take your left arm and turn the palm back so it's facing the wall behind you. Bend at the elbow and take that hand, the back of the hand, on your sacrum. Now pull your left elbow back, so much so that you feel it turning your chest. Then side bend. Keep that elbow back. Keep it back. Good. So much, much stronger side stretch as well as stronger chest stretch. Now, take that arm, reach it out, take it up. Don't let your ribs turn. Turn your palm forward, bring it over your ear. Breathe. Stay strong in your legs. Now, draw your tailbone down. Draw the tailbone down and forward towards your pubic bones. It's going to increase the stretch, but make it safer in your back. Inhale, come up. And come down. So could you feel how much more of a stretch that is when you don't let your trunk turn? Yeah, so side bends, we want to try to minimize the rotation of the spine when we are side bending. Now, we don't want to do it to the point that, you know, we're over resisting to a point of, you know, potentially hurting ourselves. I'm not suggesting that, but I am asking you to become more aware of the tendency to twist with the side bend because you're cheating yourself, okay, of the potential of what the pose can do for you. Okay, so left side up in the chair. Bring your left arm to the inside of that knee. Make sure you're in mountain pose in your standing leg. Go ahead and put your right hand on your hip and pull that elbow back, straight back, tailbone down. Now side bend kind of using that right arm to prevent the spine from rotating to the left. Take it all the way down, straighten your left elbow. Dolores, if you can, and go all the way down, left elbow, left elbow. Yeah, keep walking it down. Now, part of the challenge, Dolores, that you have is your position of your block is too far back. So your foot's way behind your knee. That's going to make your balance more challenging. Okay, now take the tailbone down again and push it forward. Keep that right thigh very engaged. Reach out with that right arm. Turn now the palm up towards the ceiling. We're going to bypass one of the things we did on the other side. Reach it all the way up over your ear. So you never rotate your spine. Okay. Now, once you get to this position, this may be plenty of stretch. If you wanted to go further, you would keep side bending, but without rotating. Don't rotate to the left. Keep pushing your tailbone forward, holding your right thigh back. Okay, you get lots of opening right through here, which is exactly what we're trying to do. That's part of your oblique muscles as well as part of your psoas. Inhale, make your way back up. Carefully come down. And let's just come back. Bring your second chair in front of you. Let's put your bolster in your chair seat. Keep your chair a little distance from you. And then put your feet up the front chair legs of your second chair. So the chair in front of you, just like you're driving, and the front legs are the accelerator. Okay, so just put your feet up there. Now, the heels do not have to be up against the chair legs, just the front of the foot. Then slide forward again, and then come forward. Bring your forearms onto your chair, onto your bolster. But just notice how having your feet up like this stretches your Achilles and your calf muscle a little bit, which in turn begins to stretch your hamstrings. So it's not as passive as when we just do a forward fold. And then go ahead and press back up. And sit in mountain pose. Notice what is feeling good. What sensations are remaining. What sense maybe of openness or expansion that you like are you feeling? You bring your hands together at your heart. Bow your head. Thank yourself for taking this time. May we have faith to know the divine enriches this invigorates us, is present with us throughout our day. Namaste. So congratulate yourself on facing your fears. So a lot of yoga is about facing your fear. You know, we push and push and push into those dark spaces, and fear is definitely a dark space, and one that in many places in our life we won't tolerate, but we will tolerate it way longer than is usually healthy for us, especially as we age. And that just degrades our sense of trust in ourselves, not in the world or in other people, but in ourselves, which is the most damaging kind of fear. So it's good to kind of push that a little bit so that you regain some of your confidence about what you can and cannot do and what is dangerous and really what is not dangerous, you know? So it's just a way of kind of remembering what it is like to be a child, you know, that is fearless. But now you're coming at your your childlike nature with wisdom, you know, with a lot of experience, with a lot of knowledge of the truth of things. And, you know, so it has potential benefit to really you know, be transformative for us. So anyway, thank you for being here, and I will see you on Saturday. Okay, take good care. Bye.